So before I call on our gentleman from North Dakota, I'm going to read our, we have a disclaimer that I wanted to read to make sure we're compliant. This call is intended only for informational purposes. Neither the products nor the statements made about the products on this call have been evaluated by the FDA, AMA, or any other medical entity. The views and opinions expressed on this call by Clayton Nolte, distributors, customers, and or speakers solely represent the conclusions of said speakers and are not guarantees that anyone using these products will achieve the same results. These conclusions and products are not intended to be substitutes for the diagnosis, treatment, cure, or prevention of any disease or injury, nor should they be taken as substitutes for the advice of a physician. Anyone suffering from disease or injury should consult with a physician. That being said, can I read that over again? So, going forward from here, do we have, is Holland with us tonight?
I'm here.
Call? Oh,
I'm
great.
here.
Fantastic. So I want to just go ahead and introduce you, Holland, and then we're going to get on to our gentleman's question. And what I'm so happy that you have joined us tonight. You have been such a great contributor to all of the things that we have done with structured water, and you have vast background in feng shui and all kinds of different holistic modalities are just extensive, and we want you to know how much we appreciate bringing that to the table, along with your interest in education with structured water. I know you've been a student of holistic practices for 40 years, and you've taught therapeutic breath work and therapeutic body work. You've also been a trauma therapist, and your focus is on helping people to create a healthy balance in every part of their lives that supports healing and creativity. Holland's desire to help people discover their unique selves and greater ease in a healthy, non-toxic environment exceeds everything else that she has been and done from our conversations and more. For the past 18 years, Holland has been a consultant for the Compass School of Feng Shui, with a special focus on electromagnetic frequency and radio frequency safety. She incorporates structured water as one of the most beneficial influences available to help increase vitality and balance in all things. So welcome, Holland. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So if we can get the moderator on track here, everything else will go just wonderful. And I see that more people are joining us. So happy to have everybody here. And again, I'm going to go ahead and call on our first question of the evening. And this is coming from North Dakota, area code 701. So please go ahead with your question. Let's see. Hello? Can you hear us?
You want to give them an instruction on how to put their hand up?
Can you hear me? Let's see. I thought I did start. North Dakota, go ahead and ask your question.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. This is I'm Pat Camp. I'm Pat. My husband Jim is on another phone. But anyway, thank you so much for taking my call. This is Victoria. Right?
Hi, Victoria. Welcome.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing. But anyway, I visited with Victoria a couple of days ago, and she suggested that I call. And Clayton, thank you so much for doing this. Just really appreciate it, and for taking my call. Anyway, let's see. We bought this winter. We were at a show and learned about structured water from Milt in Minnesota, and we bought a portable unit. And we're just, we are 100% convinced of the value. We are totally sold on it and have no doubts about it. Then on April 14th, so it's been a little bit over 2 months ago, we had the house unit installed in our house. And let's see, since we've had it for over 2 months, and since we've had the house unit, so anyway, I guess we need some troubleshooting. Like, we're wondering, we need your advice. Like, there's a dishwasher dishes used to come out of the dishwasher kind of sparkling clean. Now they come out with very much a white film on them. And our clothes come out of the washing machine kind of with almost like a film. They don't feel so clean. When we had just the portable unit, I had some African violets, and they were unbelievable. They were so beautiful. But now, since I have the house unit, my outside flowers are not flourishing. So we are wondering, we just want your input. Now we live in North Dakota, and our water is piped in. It's called rural water. It's piped in from an underground lake that's about 25 miles west of us. And we do have oil drilling and fracking about 200 miles west of us. So what is your input? What is your opinion? Is it just that it hasn't been long enough?
No, actually, it's all about energy. So when you were doing your portable, that's one thing. You're directly drinking the water through the portable, and or putting it on your house plants. House plants don't. They feel the reward of the change very quickly, very easily. But when you go to look at everything else and you put a house unit on, basically the house unit is changing the energy of the water. So it's starting to break up the aggregates that are in the water, primarily calcium and calcium salts and or all the other contaminants, physical contaminants that may be in your water. Since you're not using filters or anything like that, again, it's all about energy. So you started the process of changing the water that's coming from whatever the source is. The answer is more energy. The reason that these conditions occur in any water has to do with your area. It could be electromagnetic frequencies, energies that are creating a dissonance in the water, and that dissonance comes out in exactly what you were looking at. Your spots on your dishes, all these type of things. The water all around the world is getting worse, so it just takes more energy to overcome those conditions. The answer is basically a answer would be to add another structuring unit in order to increase the energy coming into your water, or that you would be raising up in your water. And the more energy you would put back or raise the water up to, the more likelihood you will be relieved of all those conditions. Now, when you're talking about your garden or your yard, it could be a shortcoming of, say, mineral content, nutrients in the soil, but primarily the thing that we have to first overcome is the energy field that's being created all around you. And when we start introducing structured water into that energy field, it starts correcting the problem. But if you don't have it, if you're not engaged, or let's say handling it with sufficient amount of energy, then you'll just get a partial solution. And your partial solution is the things that you're facing. So,
okay.
So again, it has to do with what structuring does is structuring brings your whole area, your home, and your surrounding area into a grounding field, or basically connecting you with the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just, like I said, the structuring, the partial structuring that you have going on, house unit, whatever, it just takes more energy.
So adding a unit would probably be the first thing that you would try.
Right. And are you on groundwater, you say, or your source is 25 miles away or something like that, you said?
Right. Yeah. It's called rural water. It's piped in from an underground lake and it's, like hundreds, probably thousands of people are on it. Right. It's piped into rural areas, we live in a rural area. So right. Yes. That's our water source. So,
okay.
So maybe there's that. The water where we live is so incredibly alkali that it's just, maybe that's interesting. I just thought about that. So where we live,
the alkalinity, the alkalinity. So you have a higher alkaline water, right? Your water is.
So that's why we can't use wells in our area. It's so alkali that it will, animals can't drink it. I mean, that's why we can't have a well.
Right.
So
I understand that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But again, the water, the water that's coming from your lake being piped that distance is extremely dead water. I mean, so and so you're by structuring it, you're starting to awaken the water, but it's not sufficient yet to get the full benefit back from the water. So, when Holland comes on and talks about electromagnetic energy and what her experience would be, and her, basically, the other thing that since water conditions around the world are getting really extremely worse off than they have been in the last year or so. And you spoke of one of those contributing factors in your backyard. It doesn't really matter how far away it is. If just a small amount of that energy hit the groundwater that you're drawing water from, and it contaminates groundwater really, really quick. So, but anyway, the structuring can overcome that.
Well, we will try another unit. One other. This is a dirty word, but in our journey for water that we've been in for a number of years, the thing that we came across several years ago was we got a Kangen machine. Now, with our structured water, should we let the structured water go through it? Should we use it at all? Should we not use it at all? What would you recommend?
Well, the Kangen machine basically is a way to increase the hydrogen level, and you already have that problem in your local. You can't use groundwater because of that problem. So your Kangen machine, unless you're going to make acid water with it, most people purchase it to increase the pH of the water. You can use it if you wish. However you go, you want to structure the water either before you drink it or after you drink. You want to structure the water either way, because what your Kangen machine does is it changes the pH. It's what we call an ionizer. It's an electronic device that changes the pH. It does not structure the water.
Right.
Structuring has to do with changing or eliminating the toxins in the water. And believe me, by putting one house unit on your home, you don't have a toxic effect any longer in your water, no matter where the water is coming from, no matter what the toxic sources are, they can't exist in your water. Now, basically,